Focus is a weapon that most people don't know how to use. They talk about it, they post about it, but they don't live it. They treat focus like a convenience, something they'll tap into when they feel like it or when the stars align. That's why they're stuck. That's why their life never changes, because they're waiting for the right moment to become serious, to lock in, to get disciplined. But the truth is, the right moment never comes. You either decide right now that you're going to control your mind, or you'll spend the rest of your life watching other people win while you scroll, while you distract yourself, while you waste potential you haven't even tapped into yet. Every day you wake up, you're given a finite amount of energy, not infinite, finite. You only have so many thoughts, so much clarity, so much bandwidth before you're drained. And what do most people do with that precious energy? They spend it all in the first hour of the day, grabbing their phone, flooding their brain with pointless information, checking messages from people who don't even matter, feeding themselves nonsense. By the time they actually try to do something meaningful, they're already burned out. They've already diluted their focus. You cannot build anything great like that. You cannot conquer your goals with a mind that's scattered. Distraction is the enemy, but the modern world rewards it. It feeds it. Social media, entertainment, notifications, endless options. It's all a trap. They want you mentally weak. They want you addicted to consumption. Why? Because distracted people don't build empires. Distracted people don't lead movements. Distracted people don't dominate. They obey, they follow, they react. And the system thrives when your mind is passive, when you're emotionally dependent, when you're too unfocused to resist. That's why focus isn't just useful, it's revolutionary. If you want to change your life, the first battle you need to win is over your attention. Not over money, not over relationships, not over opportunity. Those come after. But focus, that's the foundation, that's the gatekeeper to everything, and yet, most people don't protect it. They leave it exposed. They let the world grab pieces of it every hour, every minute. You've got to understand something. Attention is currency. And you're going broke every day you allow distractions to rob you. Now let's talk about the truth people avoid. You're not born with focus. It's not a talent. It's not some innate gift that only the elite have. Focus is a choice. It's a discipline. It's a standard you set for yourself and then reinforce with action. You train it the same way you train your body. You build it through reps, through saying no, through holding the line. The more you practice it, the sharper it gets. And once you sharpen your focus to a razor's edge, you become dangerous. You become a machine that moves with intention, with clarity, with speed. That's when your whole life starts to change. But here's the catch. Most people won't do it. They'll hear all this, they'll nod, they'll say it makes sense, and then they'll go back to being average. Why? Because it's easier to be distracted. It's easier to feel comfortable. The truth about focus is it forces you to face yourself. When you cut off the noise, when you sit in silence, you're left with nothing but your reality, your progress, your discipline, your truth, and for a lot of people, that's terrifying. It's easier to avoid, to run from it. But if you want greatness, you need to walk straight into that discomfort. You need to become obsessed with facing reality and fixing it, and that only happens when you focus. You don't need a fancy system to start. You don't need a new app. You need to get raw and honest. Look at your day. Where is your time actually going? Track it. Watch how many hours disappear into things that don't push you forward. Then eliminate them. Get aggressive about it. Cut the fluff. You don't need entertainment. You need execution. You don't need comfort. You need clarity. Every single thing that doesn't serve your purpose is dragging you down. Treat it like an enemy and remove it. That includes people. If the people around you don't value their own focus, their own growth, their own potential, what do you think they are doing to yours? You think you can stay focused when your environment is full of weak distractions? Impossible. Your circle should reinforce your standards, not pull you away from them. If they're not aligned, they're in the way. Period. Cut them out or distance yourself. This isn't about being cold, it's about protecting the mission. Your mission comes first. Focus also means you stop chasing too many things at once. That's a trap. You can't build 5 empires at the same time. You need to master one domain first. Go all in. Obsess. People think multitasking is smart. It's not. It's a productivity killer. When your brain is split between 5 things, you're giving 20% effort to each and getting nowhere fast. The winners pick one thing, destroy it, then move to the next. That's how you build momentum. That's how you stack wins. Not by dabbling, not by juggling, but by committing. You want to talk about results. Focus creates results. It builds consistency. It creates compound progress. You might not see it in a day or a week, but give it a month, 3 months, a year. Watch what happens when you shut out the noise and go deep into your craft, your business, your body, your mind. The level of transformation you'll experience will make people think you cheated. They'll ask, how did you do it? And you'll know it wasn't luck, it wasn't a hack, it was focus. Focus sharpens your instincts. When you're locked in, you see things others miss, opportunities, patterns, solutions. They become obvious. You don't second guess, you don't hesitate. You move with certainty because your mind is clear. Distraction breeds doubt, but focus breeds confidence. That kind of clarity is magnetic. People feel it when you walk in a room. They know you're not like them. You're not aimless. You're not scattered. You're on a mission, and you're not here to play. But here's something no one tells you: focus is painful. It requires sacrifice. You're going to miss out on parties, on gossip, on meaningless entertainment. You'll say no to a lot. But what you gain is worth 10 times more. You gain momentum, you gain strength, you gain results. And over time, those things attract the life you actually want, not the life full of distractions, but the life built on discipline, purpose, and power. You think the people at the top got there by accident. You think they had more time, more resources, more support. No, most of them started with less than you, but they had focus. They had tunnel vision. They didn't let anything break their concentration. And that consistency compounded over time. That's how greatness is built, through focused effort, day after day, whether you feel like it or not. There will be days when you don't feel motivated. So what? That's irrelevant. Focus doesn't rely on feelings. It's a decision you make regardless of emotion. Motivation is a feeling. Focus is a commitment. You don't brush your teeth because you're inspired. You do it because it's non-negotiable. Treat your goals the same way. Lock in every day because that's just who you are. That's the standard now, and here's the best part. The more you focus, the easier it gets. At first, it feels like a fight. But over time, it becomes automatic. Your brain adapts, your environment adjusts. You become addicted to progress, and the things that used to distract you, they lose their power, they become boring. Because you've elevated your mind, you've raised your standards, and once you live at that level, going back down isn't even an option. So if you're serious about winning, about achieving anything worth talking about, then focus is not a maybe, it's a must. It's the core of everything. Without it, nothing works. With it, everything is possible. You can spend the next 10 years scattered, confused, chasing trends. Or you can spend the next 12 months locked in, focused, and build something real. Something powerful, something permanent. The choice is yours. But understand this: every second you delay, someone else is locking in. Someone else is building. Someone else is focused. And they're coming for everything you're too distracted to earn. Most people live like they've got forever. They move through life casually, leisurely, like there's always going to be another chance, another year, another opportunity. That mindset is the disease. That mindset is why they fail. You've got to realize that time is the one currency you cannot get back. Every second you waste is a second you've handed away forever. You're not just losing time, you're losing life. You're losing the shot at everything you say you want. And while you're sitting around hoping, scrolling, fantasizing, somebody else is out there taking the action you're afraid to take. You know what separates the disciplined from the dreamers: action without hesitation. Focus without compromise. While most people are asking for motivation, the focused individual is already working, they're already building, they're already creating momentum, while the rest are still thinking about how to begin. And that's the difference. Momentum doesn't belong to the smartest, the richest, the most talented. It belongs to the most focused, the one who can lock in, drown out the noise, and do the damn work. That's the man who wins. That's the man who builds an empire while everyone else is building excuses. Distraction has become the default setting for the weak. They say they want greatness, but they scroll away their potential one dopamine hit at a time. They know what they should be doing, but they choose comfort because comfort feels good in the moment. They'll lie to themselves. tell themselves, I'll start tomorrow. But tomorrow turns into next week, and next week becomes next year. And before they know it, they've wasted 5 years chasing nothing, building nothing, becoming nothing. They look around and wonder why nothing's changed, and it's because they never changed, they never focused. They never committed, but here's the truth. Focus is not about being perfect. It's not about having every detail figured out. Focus is about locking your mind on a target and refusing to be pulled off it. It's about eliminating every excuse, every distraction, every piece of weakness that tries to seduce you back into mediocrity. That means deleting the apps that waste your time. That means waking up earlier. That means not answering every message, not replying to every DM, not indulging in every impulse. It means saying no more often than you say yes. It means creating boundaries not just with the world, but with yourself. The version of you that gives in easily, that version needs to be killed because he's keeping you small. People say they want to be successful, but they live like spectators. They consume more than they create. They listen more than they speak. They follow more than they lead, but the world doesn't reward spectators. It rewards players. It rewards execution. It rewards obsession. Focus isn't some switch you flip on when it's convenient. It's a full-time mindset. It's a war you fight every day, with your mind, with the distractions, with your surroundings. And the moment you drop your guard, even for a second, you let weakness creep back in. That's why you need systems, habits, rituals. Your life needs structure. You think freedom is doing whatever you want, whenever you want. No, that's chaos. Real freedom is discipline. Real freedom is having control over your time, your energy, your emotions. And that only comes when you have focus. You don't rise by accident. You don't become elite through vibes and motivation. You get there by choosing what matters and eliminating everything else, ruthlessly. Coldly, consistently. Look around. The world is designed to break your focus. Ads, notifications, endless content, all of it engineered to hijack your attention. That's not a coincidence. That's business. Your attention is profitable. You think you're the customer, but you're the product. They're selling your focus to the highest bidder, and you're giving it away for free. Every time you open your phone mindlessly, you're not just wasting time. You're losing control. You're weakening your ability to lock in. You're training your brain to be impulsive, distracted, reactive, and you wonder why you can't stay consistent. You wonder why you can't focus for longer than 10 minutes. It's because you've been conditioning yourself to fail. So the question is simple. How badly do you want it? Because if you're serious, you need to get militant. You need to draw a line and say, nothing gets through this unless it helps me win. That's it. That's the standard. No more tolerating distractions. No more living passively. No more letting your environment control you. If your phone is a distraction, put it in another room. If your friends are distractions, distance yourself. If your habits are distractions, destroy them. Your future depends on it. Your legacy depends on it. You see, the focused man is feared. He walks different, talks different, moves different. There's a stillness in him. A certainty. While the world chases stimulation, he chases domination. While others panic, he plans. While others react, he executes. He's not pulled by every emotion, every trend, every whim. He's anchored in purpose. He's dangerous not because he's violent, but because he's calculated. Every step is intentional, every hour accounted for. That's the kind of man that changes the game. That's the kind of man the world can't ignore. But here's the trap. When you start making progress, distractions don't disappear. They multiply. More success, more options, more noise, and if you're not ready, you'll fall. You'll mistake attention for progress. You'll get comfortable, you'll relax, and just like that, you're back where you started. That's why focus isn't a one-time decision. It's a daily commitment. You wake up every day and renew it. You remind yourself why you started. You stay hungry. You stay sharp. You stay locked in. There will be days when you question it. Days when it feels like nothing's working. Days when quitting seems easier. And those are the days that separate the focused from the forgettable. You either fold or you fight. You either break or you break through. Pain, boredom, fatigue, that's the price, but the reward, control, confidence, power. Most people live at the mercy of life. The focused man, he bends life to his will. He doesn't hope for good outcomes. He engineers them. Everything you want is behind a wall called focus. More money, focus, better health, focus, a powerful mindset, focus. You don't need more information. You don't need more inspiration. You need execution. You need to sit your ass down and do the work day after day, week after week, month after month, with or without applause, with or without validation. That's how you win, quietly, relentlessly, without distraction. You want to know what fear really is. It's looking back 10 years from now and realizing you wasted your prime. That you had all the tools, all the potential, all the chances, but you gave them away because you couldn't sit still long enough to build something. That's the kind of pain that eats people alive, regret. Regret is the real enemy, not failure, not rejection, regret. And the way you kill regret before it's born, you lock in now, you focus now, you become undeniable now. The truth is, focus isn't just about results. It's about identity. It's about who you become when you decide to live with intention. You start seeing yourself differently. You start walking with a different energy. People notice. They can't quite explain it, but they feel it. You're no longer available for nonsense. You're no longer confused. You're no longer average. You've made a decision, and it radiates off you. You become a magnet for excellence because you've become excellent. Not in theory, but in execution. Not in talk, but in action. And once you taste that version of yourself, the focused version, you'll never want to go back. You'll never want to feel scattered again, because focus brings freedom. It brings progress, it brings pride. You start sleeping better because you know you didn't waste the day. You walk taller because you're building something real. You earn your own respect, and that respect, that's the fuel. That's what keeps you going long after the motivation dies. So every day you wake up, remember this. You're either building your legacy or you're letting it rot. There is no middle. Every moment counts. Every decision compounds. Your mind is your strongest asset or your greatest liability. Train it, sharpen it, protect it, because when you own your focus, you own your future. Everything else is just noise. Focus is the foundation of every empire, every fortune, every transformation. Without it, you're a leaf in the wind, tossed around by emotions, distractions, and other people's agendas. But when you lock in, when you decide that nothing will break your concentration, you become a force that cannot be stopped. The world steps aside for the man who knows exactly where he's going and refuses to be pulled off course. So ask yourself, are you going to keep living like a slave to your impulses, or will you rise, take control, and build the life no one can take from you? Focus is the weapon. Wield it like your life depends on it, because it does.